Hello guys and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are doing something slightly different. I'm telling you what I think is my team of the group stage for the World Cup. Obviously that finished last night with Argentina being the last game. The last 32 starts later today with South Africa, Canada, and today I am going to run through my choice for team of the group stage. So first up in goal, I've gone with Orlando Gil of Paraguay. Now, just one thing to preface all these selections. I've obviously not watched every game. I have looked at some stats and stuff to back up some of my choices here. Goalkeeper, a lot of options. You could go for Vizinha, obviously, but that one game I did watch, or the second game, he was error, I think, or he wasn't very good for one of the goals that they conceded. You could choose like Eloy Room from Curacao, who's made a lot of saves. Obviously, they didn't get through, but he made several saves for them. You could go for one of the big boys who would have just got a good average rating, like Moynihan or like Neuer, because the teams have done well. But I've gone with Orlando Gil. Obviously, they had a poor start, losing to USA 4-1. I believe. But since then, he's been very good and has been a crucial reason why Paraguay have actually gone through to the next round of the tournament. The stat I have for him is that he's averaging about 4 saves per game. So I don't think he made many in that first game. So he's done well in the other two to average it out at 4 saves per game and a save percentage of about 77%, which, considering he conceded 4 goals in the first game, is very good. And I feel like defensive picks, you've got to have some of the players from the lesser nations in there, or the lower ranked nations, who have done well and progressed. And Gil, I can't say I watched it. I don't think I watched a single Paraguay game because I think the majority of them were early hours of the morning. But looking at his stats and looking at the highlights, he performed well and is a good keeper. And for Paraguay is exactly what they need and needed to get through to the next round. Now, for right back, I've picked Crystal Palace's Daniel Munoz. He came on as a sub in the last game, but started the first two, and he scored in both, which I think for me automatically puts you into something like team of the group stage if you are a right back and you are scoring some crucial goals for your country. Obviously, at Palace, he's very attacking and does get involved with some goal involvements here and there. But a key player for Colombia, obviously bombing it up and down that right side, and 2 goals for a right back in the group stage is really good, and is something in the past someone like Dumfries will have done and got into these kind of things. And yeah, it's hard to pick someone else there at right back if someone's got 2 goal contribution, not 2 goals from right back, and Daniel Munoz did that. Obviously, there's some players from different nations like Kimmich you could have picked here. I mean, Reece James, when he wasn't injured for England, was a good performer. You know, there's several options, but someone who scored twice for a team like Colombia and helped them top their group, Daniel Munoz, for me, is an easy pick at the right back spot. Now, for left back is probably a rogue one for a lot of people. I've gone for Noussair Mazraoui at left back, and the reason for this is the games I've watched of Morocco. He really impressed. I mean, against Brazil, I thought he was immense. He did very well defensively, and on the ball, he was quite tricky. It was quite surprising. Obviously, a lot of the Moroccan team are technically sound, but Mazraoui is not really rated that highly by a lot of United fans, and he obviously doesn't start for them recently this season. But I thought he was highly impressive. He was very good on the ball, solid defensively. Obviously, Morocco finished the group unbeaten, and yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything else. He was just a solid defender. I did struggle to pick a left back. I don't think there's been many standout performers at left back. A lot of players had like one good game and then didn't really back it up. So I've gone with Mazraoui as the solid option at left back. He had 3 good games, very good against Brazil, good against Scotland. Didn't watch the third Moroccan game, but he's my selection for the left back spot. Now, for my centre back spots, I've chose 2 players from varying, very different scenarios. You've got Virgil van Dijk of Liverpool and the Netherlands, and you've got Roberto Lopez of Shamrock Rovers and Cape Verde. Now, mean, Lopez, standout performer for me, for them. Constantly just proper centre defender, putting his head on everything, throwing himself in front of every shot. If there was someone from the opposition team in the box on the ball, Lopez was there to cut him off, shut him down. And from the games I watched of them, he was just immense every game. And like the stats that I looked at before, I haven't memorised or written any down, but he was like top 80 percentile for a lot of defensive stats for the World Cup so far. And yeah, I'm sure for anyone watching this, if you've watched Cape Verde this tournament, he was immense, and he was spoken about a lot by the commentators because of his Shamrock Rovers connection, and I think they found him on LinkedIn basically that he had this Cape Verde connection, so he's in as first centre back option, and then the other one is Van Dijk, who has just been doing what Van Dijk does. A goal in the first game, I believe. He's always there he's quite clutch for a defender. He's always there when you need him. Set piece threat. He just does his job, defends well, wins his duels, and he's one of the best defenders in the world for like duel percentage and duels won, I believe. And I mean, I don't really need to say much. It's Van Dijk. The Dutch obviously not great, but they did have some good performers. And I will say he's not the only Dutch player I've got in my personal 11 here, but there is the defence sorted. We've got Gil, Munoz, Mazraoui, Lopez, and Van Dijk to round off my team of the group stage defence. Moving on to the midfield, I've put all three of them in straight away, and one of them is a bit of a cheeky pick, which is Sabari. Obviously, he's been playing as the main number 9 for Morocco. He's scored in every game, I believe, and been the star man, really. A lot of people thought it might be like Brahim Diaz or, just the Moroccans have got so much talent. It could have been anyone that's been a standout performer. It's been Sabari. I believe he's going to Bayern Munich, so he's going to be playing for one of the top teams next season. But yet again, against Brazil, he was immense. The second game, obviously, against Scotland, he scored within a minute, wasn't it? Or something like that. He was very good. In the two games that I watched, yet again, technically sound, solid on the ball. The goal against Brazil was brilliant, like running between the two centre halves. It was great movement, and then the finish was even better. So he had to be in somewhere, and I've cheekily put him in centre mid because the front three, 2 are pretty much dead set, and then one's like a toss up, which is a hint at who I've picked. But those will be revealed shortly. Sabari is in midfield though at the moment. The middleman is Jude Bellingham, who I think has been by far England's best player. I think in every game he's played really well. Obviously scored and got an assist last night when we were struggling and playing in a deeper role as well, which just shows his versatility. I think he's well and truly put the argument to bed before the tournament, should him or Rodgers be starting, and I really like Morgan Rodgers, but Jude Bellingham for me is probably first name on the team sheet for England. I'd play, if I could play one England midfielder, it'd be Jude Bellingham. And I think it's quite clear. Obviously, Declan Rice top class, but I think Jude is on another level. Obviously, people have underestimated him because he's had a not as good season this year at Madrid as he has in the past couple. But there's a reason he's playing for Real Madrid, and they spent the money on him. And I think Jude Bellingham is world class, and I think he's showing it so far in this tournament. And I think he's only gonna get better as the tournament progresses. If England get any further, he's gonna be the man that does all the hard work and makes the team tick. Obviously, Kane, big name, big scorer, but Jude for me is England's main man, and if he's not starting, I in my head automatically put us a lot less of a chance of winning. I think if he gets injured, there's problems. But yeah, he's been immense for England. Obviously, if people watching this might go, "Oh, you've just picked him because he's English," but he has been on another level so far this tournament. And like I say, he's put any argument to bed about should he be starting or not. And the third player I've picked is Frankie de Jong. Now, to me, I don't feel like there's really been that many standout midfielders. I did put myself off picking El Ainoui from Morocco. Obviously, him and Bouadi have played really well in midfield for Morocco. I just didn't want to have that many Moroccans in. And watching the games that I did of the Dutch, de Jong impressed me with he's sitting in that role behind at the base of the three in midfield. Obviously, the Dutch midfield is very good, but he's the one that's making them tick. He's dictating play. He's breaking up counter attacks. I think this has almost been a reminder this tournament from him that he's Frankie de Jong. He's very good. There's a reason he's at Barcelona. I feel like he's one of those players that doesn't really get spoken a lot about because, Barca have got Yamal and Pedri and a lot of Spanish talent, and de Jong being Dutch in a Spanish team just doesn't get the flowers that he deserves. And I think so far this tournament he's been immense, and him and Van Dijk have probably been the main two reasons why the Dutch have been able to grow as the games have gone on, and they're the two that have. I mean, Van Dijk's there for the clutch moments, de Jong's there to make them tick, and that's what's been happening so far. So that rounds off my midfield. So let's move on to the front three. Right, now for the front three, and as I said, I've only put two in because these are the two. I think these are the two that are just in every person's team in the group stage, or there should be. Obviously, two of the top scorers in the tournament, Mbappe and Messi. Messi's got 6 goals in the group stage. Could have had 7 if he was any good at penalties, but obviously every game he didn't start last night, but came on and still scored. Should the free kick have really gone in? Not really. I think the keeper was poor for it, but he'd scored every goal up until last night for Argentina. So Messi is an automatic pick, and then Mbappe is just Mbappe. He's a World Cup menace. Obviously, one of the best, if not the best players in the world. Obviously, there's been controversy around him in Madrid this year and how they've not performed, but there's no debating on his day. He's one of the best in the world, and he's going to be the all-time World Cup goal scorer. There's no debate about that because I'm guessing this is going to be Messi's final one, and Mbappe's got at least 2, maybe. It depends how long he wants to play for. If they win the World Cup this year, they could win the next one as well. If they win the next 2 World Cups, he will have won 3 World Cups in his career. He'll be top scorer by then. Will he want to play when he's like 36 in the one after that? Probably not. But those two are the main 2 players in this team. I think they're obviously in everyone's team, the group stage. Now, I'm hard about the final position. And as I click this, you'll be able to see some of the players that are umdenard about putting into the 11 before recording this video. But I have gone for Erling Haaland. For me, it was between him and Kane, and I've gone for Haaland purely because he's only played 2 games and he got 4 goals in those 2 games, whereas Kane's played all 3, and he didn't really do anything against Ghana. He also missed that big chance at the end of that game to win us that game. Haaland is just a machine, and he's one of the reasons Norway are out of the group, and if they progress any further, will be the main reason. I think they've got Ivory Coast next, which will be a very interesting game. But I think it's between him and Kane, and I've gone for Haaland purely because he's only played 2 games, got 4 goals. Kane's played 3 and got 4 as well, I think. Is it 4 or 3? No, he's got 3, hasn't he, I think. Yeah, so I've gone for that. And that is my full 11 of team of the group stage players for the FIFA World Cup. I'm sure you'll have varying opinions. Let me know in the comments below who you would have picked in your 11 of the group stage. Obviously, I think I think the Messi and Mbappe are in everyone's, I'd say, but all the rest are probably interchangeable. Or you could make an argument, like you could maybe chuck like a Brian Brobby in up front, who's been, since he started, has been a game changer for the Dutch. But I think Messi and Mbappe are mainstays in the team. The group stages, everyone else is interchangeable. So let me know who you would have put in. If you've enjoyed the video, drop a like. Let me know what you want to see in the comments below in terms of football content. I've got some ideas, but you guys let me know what you would like to see. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time for another video.